William Rombeau was from a tennis-playing family. He literally grew up at the Los Angeles Tennis Club with his three brothers during the reign of Perry Jones. Bill went on to become a top player at Oregon State. After finishing his intercollegiate career, he became a teaching professional and was a superb instructor. Bob Kramer, SCTA board member, and some friends reflect.
Bill was the kind of guy who, when he was given the mantle of leadership, grabbed it and ran with it. There was no questioning his motive. He had been trained by some of the finest, had been around the greatest, starting all the way back to Mr. Jones, Joe Bixler, Judge Keller, lots of others. A real dyed-in-the-wool tennis guy. Just a fine, outstanding individual. Just somebody you would let raise your children. Just like a brother, unaffected by the great heritage that his family had passed along to him.
The Rombeau family was the tennis family at the LA Tennis Club. Bill being one of four boys. They all played tennis and they all got very good, and in '82 was a big year because that's the year that he married Sharon, and in December. But an interesting thing happened earlier that summer. He and I had decided to play a tournament out in Westlake, the senior championships, and so hardcourt championships. And he was the first or second year in the 35s. And the very first round, he runs into Sven Davidson, former Swedish Davis Cupper, who had won Roland Garros in '57, and he'd been a finalist to Hode in '56. And the guy really knew how to play the game. And I could not believe it, but Bill beat Sven Davidson in 3 sets. And I said, Bill, that's a fantastic feat.
I met Bill when I was starting my company, Sports Tutor. We had the world's first portable ball machine, and I needed some feedback. So I went to Bill, who was working at the Racket Center at the time, and he gave me some good feedback, and he said, okay, I'll order 10. And he really didn't believe he'd sell any, but when he did, he sold them all. He said, yeah, I'll come work for you. The one word that sticks out for me is integrity. That it oozed from him, and just everyone I talked to about him just said the same thing, that this guy is just straightforward, upright, and to this day, if I have a question about what I should do, I think, what would Bill do?
Bill was a vital member of the 1984 Los Angeles Olympic Tennis Games Committee, and as many of you remember, a success as director of the Racket Center in Universal City. Rombeau served as president of the Southern California Tennis Association for 11 years. He thought outside the box and supported numerous successful SCTA programs.
Bill Rombeau was a very special person to me and to the tennis world. He led the SCTA for many years as our president, and a lot of people don't know what an impact he had on the tennis world. He actually was sort of the mover and shaker behind the scenes. I'd call him a kingmaker or a queenmaker. I know that Jane Brown Grimes became president of the USTA because of his pushing. I think Franklin Johnson became USTA because of his pushing. He had such an impact and was such a level-headed, smart guy and a great leader for the Southern Cal Tennis Association. We really miss him. Bill was a great guy and a very good friend of mine.
Everybody loved him, and especially when he became president of the SCTA. They wanted him to keep staying because they liked what he was doing. He was doing for tennis what he thought was best. And it was not about Bill, it was about tennis. I cannot emphasize what a nice person Bill was. That is one of the biggest qualities, I think, about him, that I personally, as his wife, remember and will always hold dear to me.
Sadly, Rombeau's life ended far too early in January 2012, but not before he'd established his legacy as a player, instructor, and administrator. He made a telling impact on so many people's lives. He will forever be remembered.